What's up, guys? It's me, Joey G. Today I want to talk about the "it is what it is" mentality. So this video is for people who stress a lot about everything, like the decisions they make. You know, it takes you a long time to make a decision, whether it's what to eat or where to go, what to do for your job, whether to buy something you need. Do you buy it? Do you save your money? Because what if something else happens? And that's the other thing I'm going to talk about is it's the what if people. What if I lose my job? What if this person doesn't like me anymore? What if I'm being lied to by my best friend and they go behind my back? Like, it's for the people who just kind of struggle in general to mellow out. You're either stressed about something that's coming or stressed about something that happened and you're trying to understand why it happened. And so I'll just start off by saying, like, I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not an expert in anything. The only thing that I would say maybe I'm an expert in is my own life. And I don't even know if that's true. But because of that, because that's what I know most about, I'm going to use my own life experiences to kind of push what I'm talking about, like explain why I feel the way I feel about these certain things, right? So let's back it up. I'm going to use my 26th, 27th, and 28th birthdays as an example, okay? On my 26th birthday, I was with, at that time, my fiance's family. I was with her and her family, and that was my world, right? That was who I interacted with, and my everyday life was those people, and that was like where my happiness was. And so I'm celebrating with them, and it's all a good time, right? Everything's normal. I have a job or a career that I had been in for 5 or 6 years at that time, and you know, life was good. It was okay. Didn't really have like much complaints. I was just kind of working my way up to whatever the next step was. Between my 26th birthday and my 27th birthday, I'm gonna say this a lot in this video, but like, shit happened. A lot of shit happened. I decided I wasn't happy in the job I was at. You know, it was our plan that I was going to, you know, maybe take over or learn her dad's business. That's what I was working in. And then one day, like, I would open up my own branch or part of that business. And he came to me one day and he asked me, like, hey, do I invest more time and money into you, or do I look for somebody else? And that was like the spark that kind of hit me. That was like, all right, now's your chance you got to make a decision. Do you want to keep continuing? Do you want to keep going down this path that you're on, or switch it up and do more YouTube stuff and, you know, just experience different parts of life and try different things? That was my opportunity to try different things. And so I told him, I was like, you know what? I want you to invest in somebody else, because I don't think this is what I want to do. You know, for a couple months, my work had been slacking and I wasn't invested in that business at all. I was just kind of going through the motions and barely doing that. So I made the decision to basically put in my 2 weeks. And as a result, I had made a big decision without talking to my fiance at the time, and I was trying to do some stuff with Lonnie and JD with our business, or not even business anymore, but with our thing called United Purpose. And so I was making a lot of big changes, which caused a lot of friction relationship wise. And ultimately, we decided to end that as well. Trying to not air out my past business, but I'm trying to give you guys context for what I'm going to talk about the whole "it is what it is" thing. So, we decided to end that relationship. We were living together at the time, and we still had 5 or 6 months left on our lease. So from 26 to 27, I went from having my life pretty much put together the way I thought it was supposed to go, to living in this house with my now ex-fiance, who I had been with for 6 years. And there's a lot of emotions there. There's a lot of feelings that, like, one day just have to switch, right? You can't, if you're married or have a girlfriend, boyfriend, like, imagine how you act with them. Now imagine living with them. And now imagine you can't act that way anymore. You know what I mean? You're now going from partners to roommates, essentially. So it was very difficult. And it felt very alone. And I had started a new job with LA Fitness, and my first week at LA Fitness, the training was awful. They didn't really explain, like, what my job was. They were just like, just make phone calls and do this and that. And also, if you don't sell anything, then you're not going to really get paid. And it's like, what the hell, man? So now I'm I don't know, a week, 2 weeks into working at LA Fitness, still living with my ex, still reeling with the fact that I was like, man, I just gave up this really good job that I had to do this. Man, basically, I'm just descending lower and lower. I'm getting to my lowest point, my rock bottom, if you will. And the whole time, questioning myself, was this the right move? Did I just destroy my whole life because I didn't feel completely happy where I was? And so, I'm bringing all this up to tell you guys, here I am. I'm at my rock bottom. I am literally, like, trying not to cry while I'm at work. I don't even want to go home because there's all those other emotions there. I feel, I feel like I can't talk to my people anymore, because my people were her family for the most part, or her friends. And so it's like all my family is gone. They're in different states. I really didn't have anybody here. And even at the time, like, I live with Lonnie now, but at the time I didn't. And he let me sleep on his couch one night, and I just felt in the way. I felt like a burden. So I didn't even want to do that. I didn't want to bother him with my problems. I just felt very alone in this world. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, why is this happening? Why did giving up my job also mean giving up my relationship and giving up all the people that I communicated with and loved? Why did all that happen? And I remember being at the gym one day, and I was listening to the Kanye song, Heard 'Em Say, and there's an end of the chorus and then goes into Kanye's second verse, and it goes like this. It says, "And nothing lasts forever, but be honest, babe. It hurts, but it may be the only way." And then Kanye goes into his verse and he says, "They say people in your life are there for seasons, and everything that happens is for a reason." And that started making me cry at the gym. like I was a mess, dude. So that started making me cry. And then, in between sets, I'm like scrolling through my phone, and as I'm scrolling, there's a little phrase that pops up, and it says, "God, I may not understand the plan, but I trust it." And so I'm an emotional wreck at this time. I'm crying at the gym, dude, like trying to like make sure people don't see me. And cause usually at the gym, like I try to be tough, like straight face, whatever, like lifting heavy and just trying to be like the man, right? And dude, I'm trying not to bawl. People like are all around me. I'm crying. And it's because I'm having this like revelation that like, whether you want to call it God, or if you don't believe in God and you just, you know, the universe, right? You say like, oh, the universe has a funny way of doing things, or life has a funny way of, life has a sense of humor. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, life, God, karma, that higher power, I believe that higher power has a plan for you. And we do have, I believe we have free will, right? We can do whatever we want. If I wanted to, I could start my car and just drive it into a field, and I'll get in trouble for it, but I could do it. You know what I mean? There's nothing that's gonna like stop me from doing it. I can go do that. But it's our morals, it's our foundation, it's our internal belief system that prevents us from doing those things. A lot of the time it's our ego. And so that's something that we have control over. And I promise I'll wrap this all up into a nice pretty bow. But what I'm trying to say is I believe that life, God, whatever, has a purpose for us. And there's certain things that are going to happen to us to redirect us. Even though I loved the people I was with, even though I was happy with the people, I just wasn't happy with the job. Life told me, this is not where you're supposed to be right now. This is not your path. This is not your story. And so it hit me. It hit me so hard that I had to reflect on my life and change course. And I think that happens to everybody. And when people are like, well, why do bad things happen? I believe it's because they have to happen. They're supposed to happen. And the part where I'm talking about free will is we have free will to decide how we behave because of it. I could have become a angry, bitter person because I was alone and scared and hated the situation that I was in. And I could have gone and I could have taken it out on other people. And I could have just made other people suffer with me. But I'm blessed that I did not do that. And that instead, I developed the it is what it is mentality. And basically said, okay, here's where I was. Here's everything that was going on in my life and that I had planned for my life. Now this is happening and all that is gone. So it is what it is. I'm not changing that, and I really don't need to understand why that happened. What can I do now going forward to improve my life or to improve other people's lives? You know, how do I find my calling now? And that's what I mean when I say it is what it is. You know, I don't need to know why that job didn't accept my application. It doesn't matter. All I'm gonna do is waste time and energy trying to be like, well, why? I'm such a good candidate. If they only, asked me in for an interview, then I could show them. Why would they not even just get me in for an interview? And it doesn't matter. It is what it is. They saw somebody else, or they just looked over me. It doesn't matter. On to the next one. There's other jobs. There's other interviews. Life, God, whatever, said, you applied to it, but it doesn't matter. You don't need that one. That's not the one for you. You're supposed to be over here. And you're gonna get guided that way, and being guided isn't always pretty, and it isn't always fun. Sometimes being guided is going through a lot of hard shit, because it develops your character, and it just develops who you are as a person. And what I think it does, at least for me, is it gives me ammo to help somebody else. So if somebody else is going through the same thing where they hate the job that they're in, and they're dealing with a breakup, or they just feel lost in this world, I can now say like, hey man, I don't have all the answers, but here's what I did. Here's how I made it out. Because I was in your position, and it sucks, and it felt so lonely, but here is how I know to get out of it. So for the worriers, for the people that are going through something and you think like, life just hates me. It doesn't want me to succeed. Every time I try something, I fail, and nobody's there for me, and I feel like I should just give up because this life thing isn't working for me. To that I say, you are right where you need to be at this moment. Right? I think it was Steve Jobs that said it's hard connecting, or it's impossible to connect the dots looking forward. It's only looking backwards that you can see how you connect the dots. Right? Like, at the time when I was at my rock bottom, I would not be able to tell you that today, coming up on my 28th birthday, I am with an all new family, a new girlfriend, all new relationships, like happier than I was before, a better person than I was before. Like, I would not be able to predict all that. I would have just, at the time I'm like, it's over for me. But I was able to get through all that, and now looking back, I can see that all had to happen so that I could be right here today with the people I'm with and the position that I'm in. That had to happen. It just did. It sucked. I hated it. Cried a lot. It was miserable, but it had to happen, and I'm okay. I never didn't have what I needed. You know what I mean? Like, if you're watching this video right now, there was never a time where you didn't have exactly what you needed. You had enough food to be here today. You had enough energy. You had enough shelter. You had enough support that you are now sitting here watching this on some electronic device. Does that make sense? You're okay. You are okay. This is just where you need to be right now. It's not always fun. It's not always magical. Life just, it's shit sometimes. And that's okay. You have to be okay with that. 26 to now 28 is completely different, but it's better. So the it is what it is mentality helps in those situations where you're trying to figure out, why is this happening? And whatever, you pop your tire today, it is what it is. You can get it fixed. There's billions of tires, and you will have enough money, you will have enough resources, whatever it is, somebody loaning you a car, you will be okay. I promise. If you can take situations for what they are, and when a bad thing happens, or maybe it just wasn't according to your plan, just know that it is what it is. It happened. You don't need to dwell on it forever. You can say it is what it is. I control my emotions. I control how I behave now. What can I do? How can I make this a positive? How can I move forward from this? I hope this helps somebody. I've been meaning to make this video for a while. And I'm actually, I gotta go now because I just gotta dash. But I love you guys. I'm so proud of you. Stay blessed. I'll see you in the next one.